What's up, gamers and geeks? Matt here with That's Fair Podcasting and Gaming Geeks Live. And in this video, I want to ask you a question. Do you still think Starfield can be salvaged? Do you think it can be saved? Do you think Bethesda can do what CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk 2077 and ultimately turn it around and make it an IP worth playing? Stay tuned. I remember it was September of 2023. I was super psyched to play Starfield. We had to leave that weekend that I got it, and I pre-ordered it, and we had to leave for a funeral that weekend. And when we got back, I remember playing it, and I remember being slightly underwhelmed. I wasn't really feeling it, but I decided I was going to play it all the way through and see it all the way to the end, which I did, only to find out that you had to do it several times to reach a certain thing, I believe armor and whatnot. But anyway, if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Maybe like the video, help us in that algorithm. We're always at your mercy. And if you don't do any of those and you watch this pointless video, I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. But in this video, like I said, I want to talk to you and ask you, do you think Starfield is worth redeeming? And I do. I truly do. I know it sounds insane to a lot of you out there, all you Starfield haters. I don't hate the game. I think that it has so much potential to literally take off. But I almost feel like Bethesda is expecting the Creation Club and modders to finish what they started. I mean, this was an IP that they said they took 20 plus years to make. And come on, we had high expectations. This was fucking Bethesda. I mean, we're coming out of the Fallout series. We're coming out of Elder Scrolls. I mean, we expected something, and I don't think we got what we expected. And I'll start because in September, I remember starting to play this game upon the weekend it launched. And I don't know, it never felt right. It never felt good to me. Let's start with all the way at the beginning with Vasco, your droid. I found it annoying, but then, all the other NPCs that you meet, Sarah Morgan, Barrett, Sam Coe, and Andreja, however you say her name, Andrea. And then, they were solid NPCs, but they felt empty. They felt like shells. And if you want to talk about empty, let's talk about all the roaming NPCs that walked around all the places like Aquila City and Neon and Hopetown and Paradiso or whatever. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. All the residents of these towns that would walk around and they were like empty vessels. You literally felt alone in this game. Like, you had all these people that the only people that you didn't really feel alone were the people that you could bring on your ship or the people in the factions, Ryujin Industry, the people sending you to do pointless missions like fetch coffee. But I remember that just talking to these NPCs, you're just like, they were just so hollow. They didn't give you the life that I think the NPCs of Whiterun and Solitude and other places in Skyrim, or even in the Fallout universe from Fallout 3 and Megaton and Fallout 4. You still had a sense that these were people, but in Starfield, it just felt like empty vessels. They gave you such a massive game, huge game. It's an ocean-sized game, but the depth was only ankle deep. That's what we say, ocean-sized game in ankle deep water. And I sincerely hope that Bethesda, with the future plans that they have, can resurrect it. And I think it is redeemable, kind of like Cyberpunk was with CD Projekt Red. But I think the best thing about that game to me was the shipbuilding. Not the planetary base building, because you were too limited. It put too much of a limit on how much you could put structure-wise down on the ground. And I still haven't found, if you guys know of a mod in the Creation Club that can give me unlimited outpost building on the planets, by all means, because I still have that bar, and I can only build so many structures until you use it all up. And that counts with furniture and everything else, and that sucks, man. It's too linear. But the shipbuilding, I thought, was its best feature. And I spent more time in that than anything, and then taking it for the moderately decent space flight, walking around in space, walking around your ship and, adding parts on and cargo holds and whatnot. But it was confusing at first, but it got very easy. But I felt that the shipbuilding gave us a lot more to offer. Now, as far as space travel, it was limited. The cutscenes, man. I mean, you've heard it, not just for me, but plenty of others if you've watched other videos. The cutscenes from the time you take off to the time you hit space, what was it, like an 8 or 9 second window? And you could have just kept the animation of us flying through the atmosphere and into outer space, and you could have hid your loading screens under that. But you did loading screens, and in this day and age, man, that just doesn't cut it, especially with an IP that we were wholeheartedly waiting on, and this is what we ended up getting. I'll move on to Shattered Space. That expansion, I thought, was one of the worst Bethesda expansions of all time. I mean, it kind of, if not the worst. I mean, there were some in Fallout 4 that really didn't do it for me, like the workshop and whatnot. And I wasn't big on the Nuka-Cola one, although there was Far Harbor, and that one was badass. I can't deny that. But Far Harbor was awesome. But the workshop especially, wasn't that great in Fallout 4. But to bring us Shattered Space felt like a copy and paste of everywhere that we've been to, in my opinion. And I understand that everywhere you're going to go, you have all these different planets with all these different building structures, and they're all more or less the same. It was like that in Mass Effect, but hell, that was 2007. This was 2023. But anyway, yeah, Shattered Space left a lot to be desired. I hope that the new expansion that comes out can make up for that. It really needs to. I mean, they did give us the buggies, but again, you're exploring massive worlds, but there's very little to find. The best thing also about it were the mods, the Creation Club, because I did a lot of that. And you didn't, the mods came along and gave us the armor that you got for completing it. And I'm like, I don't need to play this 9 freaking times to get this armor. I got a mod now. So thank God for the mods. Thank God for mods and the Creation Club. Although it is kind of a cash grab in a way. It's like it's there to complete a game that I think Bethesda should have completed themselves, but hey, what are you going to do? Let's talk about how No Man's Sky is seemingly a lot more popular than Starfield right now, and for good reason. Look at their latest update. I don't need to go into that. This is about Starfield, but I think everything that No Man's Sky has done lately. But it being a 20-year project, let's talk about what Bethesda could possibly be planning for this next 2-year anniversary update. First of all, we know there's another expansion story mode DLC coming out. Could be a good one. That could be a good one. Let's hope that it can definitely bring a deep, rich story to a game that is sorely lacking in story. There was so much I did. You join these different factions, but again, they weren't factions like you found in Skyrim with the Companions or the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves Guild. They were so linear, and this DLC hopefully can help turn it around. Can it turn around like Cyberpunk 2077? It could with given everything that they plan on. They already plan on updating space travel to be more rewarding. Let's hope cutscenes are cut from that. Let's hope that you can literally, kind of like No Man's Sky when it comes to traveling. You can see that planet and you can just go to it. You don't have to click on it, zoom in, click a landing spot, boom, there you are. Let's hope that it kind of borrows, you can say steals, but let's hope it kind of borrows from No Man's Sky. I think space travel upgrade would go a long way to helping this game, just my opinion. But there's, also allegedly going to be some new interplanetary space missions. If you go up in space, you could, there's going to be distress signals, I hear, that you could, lead to hidden quests and better rewards and better mining from that. Mining asteroids. Look, that could go a long way too. I really think Bethesda could do something much better with this game by doing so. I mean, if you're not going to add more story, add more quests that feel a lot more meaningful. And like I said, let's find some distress signals and let's open up hidden quests from these distress signals, and not a copy and paste quest over and over. That would go a long way, I sincerely believe. And I think Bethesda could bring this back. Let's talk about the alleged rumor of ship combat revamping. Make it more balanced, with your balance of your weapon types and your shields and and make the enemy a lot less predictable. From what I hear, that's kind of the plan. I think that could go a long way with the space battles, don't make them so predictable. Don't make them so, I don't want to say it was easy, but it really wasn't that hard. And, make it more rewarding to take a ship. I know that there are ways to disable ships and take them over. I was more of a ship thief. That's what I was in it for, was to steal ships, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. But let's hope that some of these asteroids that they're saying that we can go and mine can, you can salvage wrecks, scan more anomalies, and get better rewards for your trouble, and better quest hooks that could be linked to those, which is part of the rumor mill too. So guys, that's what the rumor mill is offering: a better expansion with hopefully a better story to this DLC, better space travel, landing and taking off, better space combat, and better quests that could be linked to mining asteroids and distress signals. So anyway, guys, verdict, I think it could be salvageable. I mean, look, CD Projekt Red launched Cyberpunk in 2020, and it's taken them a few years. We're not even quite at the 2-year anniversary. We're there this month, but it's coming up. But let's hope that Bethesda can resurrect this and bring it back, kind of like CD Projekt Red did, because I think Starfield is salvageable. If they can't do any of those, I don't see how it can work out. But anyway, guys, that's really all I had. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Like the video. We're always at your mercy. Help us out to get those clicks. And again, if you didn't do any of those and you just watched the video, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate you watching. And to you gamers, all love, and I'm outro.